you all drinking tea?
I've been drinking tea since I was probably like 8 years old. It's just my thing.
That's your thing.
Milk and tea.
No sugars? No sugar?
Not sugar, milk, tea, sugars. Just one cup, I'm good.
Who put you onto that, man?
My aunt actually put me on. I used to, when I was younger, I used to just go to her house all the time, like as like babysitting. But every like time we would eat, after we would eat, like an hour later, it would be like tea time. And then I would just always have tea, and then every.
That's for kids. We used to be like tea time. You get a biscuit.
Yeah, no, just all I needed was the tea. I mean, if she had like a couple cookies, I would take it. But the tea, it's just like it brings me back to like being like young again. Yeah. I mean, I'm still young, but like being a kid again.
So let's talk about your upbringing, because obviously we're from different countries, but music obviously and hip hop, the culture
universal
is universal. So tell us a bit about your upbringing.
As far as music or just in general?
In general.
I mean, I grew up in this neighborhood called Mill Basin, which is in Brooklyn, and it's like Brooklyn is huge. I don't know if you've ever been to Brooklyn, but it's really, really big. And like one of the main streets is Flatbush Avenue, and like the Barclays is by Flatbush. Everything's by Flatbush, but I live like either at the end or the beginning, which, depending on where you're looking from. I live right by the end of Flatbush, and there's a mall there. So my area is like not even really by any trains and stuff, and it's like a suburban-y type of area in Brooklyn. But like that's where I grew up, and it's not like a street area in Brooklyn, but a lot of people just get fucked up on drugs there, like prescription drugs, and it's bad. So it's like just growing up there, you know. You get put on to like a lot of music, a lot of different stuff, and there's a lot of traps there. So it's like trying to get out of that shit and like maintain a positive mind frame the whole time. But like that growing up in Mill Basin definitely shaped like my whole life for sure.
What kind of traps are there? Because it may sound obvious, but
yeah.
What were the traps that you said?
Well, it's like, you know, it's a bunch of like a lot of privileged kids. So like I was from like middle income, you know, like when I was growing up, like we were good, and then like it started, you know, we started having some issues like the older I got. But like a lot of the other kids there, like their parents are like rich, so they just get money, like they shit money, so they just have money. Like they'll get like $20 whenever, like, oh dad, I get some money, yeah. So a lot of kids get into like just pills and like drugs. Like it starts with weed, and then it's like you get bored of weed, so you do something else. It's like, oh, a pill won't really hurt me. And then you start doing pills, and then it's over. Like a couple years later, you don't even recognize these people. So growing up, since there's no trains and there's not that much going around, you're just around all this shit. And if your friends are doing it, then you're gonna do it too. And it's like a vicious cycle, and it just keeps going on.
And no one's really there to see the downside, because everyone's on a cycle just doing it.
Exactly.
An example made of it.
And the only people that really see it are the people that are like around it. Like, you know, your friends could be doing it, and it's like you just gotta get out of there at one point. But like some people fucking go through it, and then like they have to like change themselves. Like you can't even help them. They gotta go through it themselves and like decide that they want to not live that lifestyle anymore. But it's crazy.
So musically, we're waiting on new projects from you. There's been a little bit of a gap.
It's been a huge gap. You know, it's.
But I mean, the thing, when I look at it, I think sometimes in music, how you started is not normally how you always continue.
For sure.
Change your style. So in this period, what have you been testing out to musically, creatively? Where do you feel you are now?
Well, it's like my only project, I was 17, so that like even looking at that project, I don't really consider it. I mean, of course it's a project from me, but like I can't even compare it to my new shit, because it's like I was so young, and I was so like in awe with the whole music, just like being able to record. You know, I was recording with my boy who like just gave me studio time, and it's like I would just rip beats from YouTube. So it's like I wasn't even getting beats. I was just ripping beats off YouTube and doing covers to like a Drake beat or whatever, and like.
The 0 to 100 as well. Did you do?
That was a remix, but on my first mixtape I did Dreams Money Could Buy, and I did that, and I did Say You Will. Well, that was a Kanye beat, but I did it after I heard Drake's version of it, and So after that, you know, I was just proud to have a project out. And then we went through the whole pro era shit, and then my whole frame, like my whole outlook on music changed. And then being able to like create a project, you know, like doing post production, adding like keys to something, adding guitar, putting a vocalist on it, like where I'm at right now is like I'm very proud of it. I'm just excited to like get it out there to the world.
It's and I think I definitely agree with you, because your base, your fan base is expanding, and people are gonna take to what you got to say now.
Yeah.
But then it's almost like from like maybe 17 to 20.
It's huge. That's probably one of the biggest changes in life. Like, you know, like obviously like 11 to 50, like, but like you're still a kid, but like 18 to like 21, 17 to 20, like that's a big growing process, because you're going from, and like I went to college for 1 semester and I just dropped out. I couldn't do it. I didn't.
What were you gonna study? What were you studying?
You know, before I did music and shit, I was really into just acting. You know, like
you act as well, right?
I act, yeah. I haven't in a while, but I acted, and then the more I got into it, I was getting into film. Like I wanted to be into like direction too. I directed up like a play in my high school, but I like film. I like theater. Like I like that type of stuff. And if music kind of hit me randomly, like it was never part of like my plan as a kid, but yeah, I would have did acting or something. But I went to school for 1 semester, and I had like a 3-hour film class, I had a 4-hour acting class, and I had like a computer and like a bunch of like other bullshit classes, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do the school thing. So like from 17 to 21, I went from like a schedule every day, school, rehearsal, repeat, to nothing, like, you know, to like creating my own shit.
What happens in that downtime? Because there's a form of structure where it's like you said, you have to be here.
Yeah.
There's a time when you wake up, you're like, I can stay in bed.
Yeah. Well, in that downtime, I think it's really important for yourself, because you get to like know about yourself.
True.
You know, when a lot of kids, you know, their parents are just so fixated on school. It's like, you'll go to school, do your work, pass, get a job. Like, you know, they want what's best for their kids. But at the end of the day, they'll still encourage them to like live out their dreams. But, you know, after you break that cycle where you're not waking up, going to school and doing something you don't want to do, you got to like just really be determined to make it for yourself, because nobody's going to hold your hand anymore. You don't have a system, you know, putting you in and spitting you out. You have like your own determination and will to like try and make something from nothing, you know? Like that's why this whole pro era thing is so like sacred to all of us, because we were all in high school and like we're just like any normal kid. We don't want to be in school, you know. We like fuck school, like let's smoke weed and do cool stuff, you know. Like, and it's just like any normal kid. But the more you learn about yourself and you grow, you realize you could make something. You could do something crazy. Like you could do something really special. The fact that I'm even in London talking to you right now, like if you would have talked to 17-year-old me, I would be like, nah, like I don't know about that. Maybe I'll be like in New York having a show. Like this is like, it's still like surreal to me, and it's like you gotta reflect at some, you know, you gotta look back. And
but that's like what you were saying about when you go to different countries, you want to do different things, because I feel like sometimes there's no reflection process because it's so fast.
So fast,
yeah.
Things just keep happening, and it's like even like when, like sometimes we'll complain about like ridiculous shit. When you really think about it, it's like, oh, like I don't want to wake up to go trampolining right now. And it's like, what? Like come on, like, nah, I don't know if I want to go to this like if someone's like Wiz Khalifa, for instance, like I don't know if I want to go to the Wiz show tonight, backstage, VIP. Like it's like crazy when you really think about it, like, you know, all these like blessings we've been given, and like, you know, it's crazy. Like sometimes you always take advantage of it because you can't constantly reflect, but sometimes when you think back, you're like, wow, like this is crazy.
How does your family take to your progression now?
You said my family?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Like my father recently passed away, so it's alright. But he was like the main, like, you know, he's pushing me heavy, and like it was crazy because there was like between him and my mom, like they both want what's best for me and shit, but my mom was more like go to school, you know, get a job, you know, like just the normal, like, you know, support your son thing. But my dad was just like, listen, like, if you have something, you know, that you think you could really do, you gotta like do it. You can't really wait. Because if I would have been in school and then tried it again, I'd have been older. I might have lost the urge for it. But it's like, you gotta just get it while it's there. My brother, like, supports me heavy. I want to get him involved eventually. But yeah, the family support is important. It's definitely important.
It's interesting you say that, because sometimes as men understand that as a boy, you want your son to sometimes be in your image. Like, you want to raise him to be able to have his own,
exactly.
his own thing, where sometimes the mothers, they just want, I just want him to be okay. But we understand as men that we always want to have our own things.
Yeah, we want to create. We want to, you know, we don't want to just get by. You know, like sometimes, you know, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like certain minds, it's like if you're just doing something you don't want to do and you're getting money and like you're comfortable, that's not enough. Life is not long enough to like just be like okay with things. Like, you know, like you don't want to just be in this cycle and then wake up one day and you're like, yo, what am I doing right now? Like, what have I been doing these last couple months, these last couple years? Like, you know, that's why when I told you, like, when I go to different countries and shit, it's like, I'm here. Like, I'm here now. Let me live in the moment, you know? Because it's not worth it to, like, just let these opportunities, like, slip and stuff.